Hey everyone, it's Neon Polygons, and a very quick video on a very, I guess, simple project I wanted to do. So for those of you who have watched my channel, may have seen that I did an arcade 1-up mod where I basically turned it into a, ultra hyperspin arcade emulator arcade cab. And I had the idea of just basically saying, what if I just kind of took those same parts and just made a really cute small form factor mini ITX build that essentially would just be a Windows XP gaming machine in a small case, but powerful enough to run at least some 3D modern games up until the year 2000, I'd say like 10. So this is what you see here, and I'll list out all the parts, but essentially I have a fanless GPU, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for these in the comments, but an Aptivia PSU, 500 watts, and then on the other side, to help make this work, I have a Noctua CPU fan cooler. I'm again using the ASUS motherboard and the same Intel G2030 CPU chip that I had in my arcade 1-up mod. And I'm also using an SSD, one of my recent upgrades into my arcade 1-up mod. So let's turn this bad guy on, just to kind of show you guys how it functions and operates. And the idea here is obviously, as I mentioned, I plan to use this little mini PC that I set up here, even though it is a lot of parts from the early 2010s, use this as a Windows XP gaming machine, and in some ways like a strong emulator system that can handle pretty much anything from old school to at least somewhat modern games such as like Street Fighter 4 and Ultra Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter versus Tekken. So kind of just want to show you guys some of its capabilities. So I'm just going to show you some of the emulator systems I've got in here. But for me, normally the big test case is how does it run with Killer Instinct. So I'll run Killer Instinct 2. And as you see here, runs with no issues, easy peasy, yada, 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 right? So running smoothly, doing pretty well. But let me kind of put up and actually go to a PC gaming. So let's run one of my tests or a benchmark for Ultra Street Fighter 4. So let's set this guy up. Or actually, you know what? Let's do Street Fighter X Tekken. Yep. Okay. So loading pretty fast, running really well. Come on, come on. So let's just run to a benchmark. Come on, come on. Okay, come on. Benchmark, benchmark. Okay, nope. As you can tell, I'm using a really old keyboard based upon all the clicking and clacking sounds, but I'm going to just run a benchmark here so everyone can see how this PC is holding up. You see there, it's got 75 frames per second. And again, look at the, here's a look at like the small form factor I got running in here. Some pretty heavy cable management I got to, get set up. But here it is. I got an rank A for the benchmark. Average frames per second, 77 FPS. And look at basically what I'm running, G2030 at 3 gigahertz, using Windows XP at 1024/768 with a fanless GPU. This is an Nvidia GT610. So anyways, this is kind of just a quick project. I'll list out other parts here, but I think this is something that, at least to me, is a pretty cool thing for a lot of retro gamers, that you can essentially create a super emulator system that can run modern, pretty old school games, but to modern games, relatively modern in a small form factor. So I'll list that all out, but I'm not gonna lie, this was kind of a pain in the ass to kind of build out. In fact, the whole cable management, I'm still gonna try to figure out how I squeeze everything all in here. But nonetheless, I'm pretty excited to see how this is all gonna shape up. And let me know your thoughts below, what you think of my little Windows XP gaming emulator machine project.